And we are going to go ahead and start off in Galveston. So we know that a family there is on the street this hour after a housing safety net appears to have completely collapsed. What a huge issue there. Well, what was supposed to be a fresh start for a mother and her three children turned into a nightmare of confusing subleases and alleged federal investigations. So we have Sherman DeSalle, who is out there for us right now following this story. Sherman, you were there as movers were actually clearing the woman's life out on the sidewalk. I mean, I can't even imagine the emotional toll.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's a pretty messy situation, and all because there's some snafu going on between who leased this place, who was in it, who was paying for it, who wasn't paying for it. There's a lot of pointing fingers. But let me show you. We're on the 900 block of Winnie, and this is the rest of what LaShonda's been able to get out of her place. But she's still working on getting some of this stuff, and she's been so gracious with us to just let us see what's been going on. But this all started in February. She actually had been homeless for over a year before moving over here, and she was evicted this morning despite having money deposited every month, $750 that she was paying every month. The eviction isn't against her, it's against an LLC called Beacons of Light Solutions. And the court records show that the eviction process actually started 2 days before she moved in. Take a look at this video that we got earlier from her. It's the moment that movers were coming in upon the landlord's request, along with an officer monitoring the whole thing, just getting her stuff out of here. This has been a long road because Beacons of Light told us that they rented these units from a property manager and they sublet them to families with who needed some help. So Beacons claims that a second group called the Chosen Ones Outreach Ministry was supposed to pay the rent balance, and Beacons now says that Chosen Ones is under an investigation and they stopped paying, which caused the money to dry up. We reached out to the city of Galveston because Beacons of Light claims that they have been working with the city throughout this whole process, and they said there's no record of that. Take a listen to some of the conversation between me and LaShonda earlier. Time that we spoke to you yesterday, we reached out to the city. The city said, despite what Beacon of Light has said about working with the city in all of this, the city said they had no affiliation with this whatsoever. They said there was no funding attached to the city. That was a partnership with this. They're saying they have nothing to do with it.
We didn't know. That's what we were told from Beacons of Lights. And then when everything went down, the city contacted me because I made a post on Facebook asking did anybody know of this agency and could tell me more about it because of what was going on. I even went out to the police station and I filed a report against them because they stole my money. They lied. They scammed.
Beacons of Light also said that they made sure that all of their tenants were well aware of everything that was going on.
If we were real aware of anything, especially me, I don't know about the rest of these people, I don't even wasting my time. Why would I pay rent if I know something was going on? I could have used that to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That is a lie.
Waha, Ruha, Kwadash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers, the men of Great Millstone. To you I say shalom. Salutations to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Amraya. And I just played an example of the slow-mindedness that comes with being Israelites sometimes. All right. This lady trusting in the shadow of Egypt, and trust me, America, Babylon the Great is spiritual Egypt. Spiritual Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritual Rome, spiritual Assyria. All wrapped up into one little perverse cup of pollution. And you Israelites trusting in this system, though men of the Lord go out week after week on the highways, byways, and hedges, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, putting up epistles upon YouTube and other social media platforms for your edification, because you don't understand how these curses are lingering upon you, all right, lingering, Salakia, upon you. You don't understand how to get closer to the Lord, what repentance is all about, all right? You think it's something grievous onto you, and therefore you take counsel, but it's never of the Lord. In this situation, this Jake goes to a 501c3 charter, all right, which has a contract with the government, one of these nonprofit organizations, and a couple from what they were talking about. All right. Just to get swindled, taken, bamboozled. All right. Made to look foolish. And a little research probably could have avoided all of that. And don't think I'm roasting, man. All right. Because I myself have had someone very close to me fall victim to a scam very similar to this one. All right. They were hoping for something greater, a miracle, but it wasn't in the cards. And putting their trust in the shadow of Egypt, it became their shame. They wound up giving over $800. All right. And this lady's situation, she gives $750. All right. But this is Jeremiah chapter 4. It's verse 22 I'm going to read. It says, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge," right? They are sottish, slow-minded. They don't understand things because they don't rely on their power, all right? They trust in idols and heathens, all right, and carnal things. Never once understanding the spiritual power that comes behind being an Israelite by bloodline lineage, all right? What you're able to tap into if you are one of the elect of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right? All they have knowledge of is to do evil, how to take it to another level, how to really get return on these schemes, all right? But to do good, they have no knowledge. And this is why they trust in a system that the whole time we're telling you, system means pit, system means pit. A pit is a trap, a snare. The whole time they trust in these systems because they are a little slow-minded. They don't understand they're under curses, so they're constantly moving and tempting Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right? And thou shalt not tempt the Lord, all right? Now, this lady, again, I'm not roasting her in particular, but trust me, there's a million more examples of her situation all throughout America, Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, etc. And if you understand what is occurring in these last seconds of these last days, how they are setting up another snare, pit, idol for you to worship in the form of a microchip, okay? It's what all these data centers are about, and these laws and legislations, unrighteous decrees they're moving forward upon. None of this is for your benefit, Israel. The so-called self-proclaimed white man and his system is nothing but a snare and a pit onto you, a stumbling block, all right? And the more you trust in it, the more you're going to be put to shame. And ultimately, this lady is going right back to being homeless with a couple $100 shorter. Now, getting back on track, this is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, "For the Egyptians shall help in vain." Did you hear that, Israel? Let me read it again. Isaiah 30 and 7. "For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose." Right. This lady is depending on a system. I've watched others depending on this system. 501c3 nonprofit. All right. Thinking that this is some type of representation of the Lord throughout the earth. You can go to them for miracles. And time after time again, they've shown you they're nothing more than a business. All right. The only interest it cares about is its own. All right. As the money dries up, they left you high and dry. All right. The Egyptians shall help in vain, to no purpose. Your churches, spiritual Egyptians. All right. All up in the Sunday pulpit with the obelisk on their chests, worshiping a male rod. All right. Isaiah 30 and 1. "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh." And it's crazy we have to go over this all the time, but woe means destruction. The rebellious children are the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, North American Indians, and confusion of faces. All right. And I've done many lessons on confusion of faces. If you don't know what it is, go look it up. GMS, confusion of face. All right. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Right. All their hope and faith is in a system, Egypt. All right. And we know what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai did to Egypt the first time around. It's going to be far worse the second time around. We're telling you that spiritual Egypt, which is America, is going to be destroyed. All right. You're coming upon several different prophecies, which is at the end of the book. Quick detour. We're going to grab Micah 2, verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart. Not literally, but spiritually. This is a call for repentance, man. All right. From the ways of America, Babylon the Great, and all the rest of these wicked societies where you have been scattered. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Right? All right. And this lady, no doubt, weathered the storm, but she may be worse for the wear, you know? Ultimately, these type of things wear you out. Those stresses that constantly bombard you here in the shadow of Egypt, they wear you down, okay? And if you're not repenting, if you're not relying on the Lord, if wisdom and knowledge is not the stability of your times, you're going to perish in this kingdom. Going back to Isaiah, because this doesn't need to be too long. It's just an example of how you rebellious children rely on things that time and time again prove to you they are not for your benefit. America, Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt is not for your benefit. Verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Verse 7, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. And your strength, Israel, truly is to sit still. And to sit still and do nothing are not the same thing. All right? You're waiting upon your power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, they are spiritual. All right? You are to cry unto the Lord for your help. If you're not receiving it, you continue to cry as loud as you can to the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That is the name of the one whom you ignorantly call God, which is Yahweh. And his son, who everybody calls Jesus, his real name is Yahweh Shai. All right? And there are lessons breaking those names down. But that is your power, Israel. You call upon him. The names of the Lord are a strong tower. They are righteous. And the righteous runneth into it and are saved. All right? Stop depending on Egypt. All right? Because you know what happens? The children that depend on Egypt are going to go down with Egypt. And as I've already stated before, America, spiritual Egypt, is going to be destroyed. Verse 7 again, for the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Now go, write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that they may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. And therefore bad things are going to continue to happen to you, including and not limited to torture and unaliving. All right? Your holes in your pockets will never heal. Your money will disappear on you like this lady's did. All right? And you will continue to be oppressed in this system. As it goes down, you will go down with the system. It's high time to awake out of sleep. All right? It's high time to awake out of sleep. I'm going to end out in one more because it coincides. But Isaiah 36, all right? And we say this all the time, but it's the truth. Isaiah 36:6. Lo, you trusteth in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt. This whole system is broken. And you're trusting in it. Whereon, if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. It is to cause you hurt and pain. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him, right? Stop trusting in spiritual Egypt. Stop trusting in these politicians. Stop trusting in these officials over these nonprofit organizations. It's all a corporation. It's all big business, all right? It's all about the money. It has never once been about you, all right, other than oppressing you and being the worst stumbling block to you ever, all right? You are an Israelite. Your power is spiritual. It is time to return and put away all of these foolish scams and schemes, all right? And it is the Lord that will sustain you. Shalom.